To reports from multiple news outlets, his former sister-in-law alleges that Hegseth's wife was terrified he would abuse her to the point where she and her sister had a code to text each other if her husband became violent, and she feared for her safety.
Donald Trump just got served a double row special, and it's stunning and totally merciless. First, George Clooney paused from being effortlessly suave to trash Trump like a bad review, and then Jimmy followed up with jokes so ruthless, even Fox News may deny hearing them. If you enjoy seeing Trump get lit up by Hollywood's best, you're in for a treat. Let's dissect it all. George Clooney and Jimmy Kimmel just destroyed Donald Trump and people. It was a work of art. It was like seeing a Michelin star cut up a soggy McDonald's burger. Effortless, precise, and laughingly devastating. Clooney Hollywood's Silver Fox sat there, like a man who's won Oscars while Trump was out here losing lawsuits. And Kimmel, the man literally has a PhD in roasting Trump. At this point, if Trump is a clown, then Kimmel is the whole circus, ensuring we get front row seats to the greatest act in town. Okay, please subscribe for more. It takes 2 seconds.
Tonight is a special night at the White House. It's Donald and Melania's 20th wedding anniversary. 20 years is a long time, especially for Melania. This morning, Trump paid tribute to his longest-serving wife by reposting this AI image of himself with a lion.
And does us a lot of good. Let's begin with Clooney. Oh boy. Trump once referred to him as not very smart. That's like a goldfish. Calling Michael Phelps bad swimmer, Clooney replied by reminding everyone that Trump was literally a failed casino owner. That's right, a casino. A business where people voluntarily throw money away and he still couldn't make it work. Imagine being so bad at business that people handing you their cash isn't enough to keep the lights on even deeper. Taking his shot without hesitation, he called Trump a knucklehead.
If I was going to make stuff up about him, I'd start telling people he wears diapers. I would explain that it's a long trial. He drinks a lot of Diet Cokes to stay awake. He's getting up there in years, and it's perfectly normal for a man of Trump's age and carriage to wear absorbent undergarments to stop the leaks. So, I mean, if I was making stuff up, that I would point out that the reason he stands like this and golfs like this and plays tennis like this is because he has a full diaper strapped around his little mushroom garden. Okay?
And honestly, that may be way too nice. A knucklehead at least has a working knuckle. Trump, however, appears to be the type of individual who'd forget which hand to offer for a handshake. Were it not whispered in his ear, first he's the one who'd proudly walk into a revolving door and somehow still get stuck the kind to wear Velcro shoes and still tighten them in a knot. A man who likely reads the instructions on a shampoo bottle every time he showers. Clooney didn't simply throw shade.
I can't.
It's too many words.
It's 4 too many words. I think just ultimately in over his head, in a devastating way, unqualified.
That's a good one.
He took out an umbrella, set up a complete canopy, and invited the world to come and view. If Trump believed that was a compliment, he'd better see if someone replaced his briefing notes with a kindergarten coloring book. Jimmy Kimmel, never one to hold anything back, was in his rare form as he honed his comedy knives to fillet Trump like a well-done steak drizzled in ketchup. He didn't simply stop at the typical jabs. Oh no, he went for the nuclear roast. He compared Trump's IQ to a half-eaten bag of Cheetos left out in the sun. And honestly, the parallels were uncanny. Consider this. Both are artificially orange, both melt under pressure, and both leave an embarrassing stain wherever they go. Kimmel wasn't finished. He said that, just like a forgotten bag of Cheetos. Trump's ideas were stale, full of artificial flavoring, and dangerously addictive to the wrong audience. And much like how nobody really wants that, last, soggy, sun-melted.
Because, he was just this knucklehead. I knew him before he was, a president. He was just a guy who was chasing girls. Every time you went out, he'd come over and be like, what's the name of that?
Cheeto America, too, might be looking at Trump and thinking, yeah, we should probably toss this away before it causes further damage. Of course, Trump's fans fought back likely while licking fingers smeared with metaphorical and actual orange dust. But Kimmel, he just shrugged and braced for round 2, knowing full well that when it comes to roasting, Trump gives enough material to keep the flame burning forever and every time.
Every mistake now he'll claim was AI. Eric, Don Jr. He said artificial intelligence was used by them against me in their videos of me. Can't do that, Joe. Which the idea that Joe Biden did that, I mean, Joe Biden can't unlock his phone without accidentally taking 3 pictures. I mean, let's be honest. Joe Biden, don't worry about Joe Biden using AI. You worry about us using AI because we will not use it subtly. We will use it to make you look like a chubby German boy eating pudding by himself. Or a human chicken McNugget, or the god of diarrhea.
And by every time he means no to times, he likes recounting this fabricated tale. Never did I ever stand on the sidewalk to welcome Donald Trump, or any visitor. Never occurred. You guys here in the studio have been standing on that sidewalk. You think I'm standing out there? No way. Our guests don't even enter from the sidewalk.
Every time.
And by every time, he means no times. He loves telling this made-up story. Never did I ever stand on the sidewalk to greet Donald Trump or any guests. Never happened to. You guys here in the studio have been out on that sidewalk. You think I'm going out there? No way. Our guests don't even come in from the sidewalk. They come in through the alley in the back, where I also don't stand out there to greet them. The only time I've ever walked out on the sidewalk for Donald Trump was to urinate on his Star on the Walk of Fame.
They enter from the alley in the back, where I don't stand out there to greet them, either. The only time I've ever stepped out onto the sidewalk for Donald Trump was to pee on his Star on the walk of That's It, one of the greatest moments when Clooney pointed out how Trump boasts about being so smart while spelling things incorrectly in all of his Truth Social posts. CVF, FE was not a typo. People. It was a cry for help. The guy tweets like a faulty Roomba, attempting to vacuum up a sentence. Clooney even quipped that Trump's ghostwriter must be a toddler with an e-sketch in a fit of unadulterated, unfiltered Hollywood brutality. George Clooney just landed the verbal haymaker of the decade, labeling Donald Trump a dumb fray, not dumb, not fed, but a whole state of being a noun, a verb, a tragic comedy, Al-Anon. It occurred while he was being interviewed, when Clooney, sipping on what we can only hope was a $500 bottle of tequila, was questioned. Trump's most recent purchase of the birdhouse without batting an eye. He leaned back, smirked, and told us it's just stupid. Theory. At this point, the man is like a Diet Coke, fueled rage only, malfunctioning AI his of the internet exploded. Memes of Trump's hair turning into a tumbleweed. Top. Someone even photoshopped a so-called dictionary entry. Stupid. Frey. See Donald. J. Trump arrived the golden moment. Clooney totally destroyed Trump's.
Of invaluable knowledge gathered over centuries are now threatened by an epidemic of dumb idiots saying dumb.
You know what this is? It's a snowball. So it's very, very cold out.
Dumb is highly contagious, infecting the minds of even the most stable geniuses.
If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, they say the noise causes cancer. You tell me that one, okay?
Obsession with gold plating. Everything? You know the guy who thinks adding gold to a toilet makes it classy, Clooney said. Trump's taste is what happens when you provide a used car salesman with an unlimited budget. And let's be real, Trump's style is precisely that. Vegas casino meets Granny's living room with a side of I got this off, wish Kimmel pushed it even further. He mocked that Trump's concept of sophistics is topping a steak with ketchup while sipping Diet Coke from a wine glass. At this juncture, Trump's choices are so pathetic they deserve their own Shakespearean production. The Tragedy of Donald the Brook, a story of gold toilets and insolvency. And let's not count out the legal issues. Clooney Trump has been sued more times than he's been married, which is saying something. The man hoards lawsuits. Like Pokemon cards, he's got to catch them all, Kimmel added. Trump's legal team is the only people working harder than his hairstylist. And honestly, facts. But here's where Clooney really drove home. He said, Trump's greatest fear isn't jail. It's a room full of people who don't laugh at his jokes, because let's get real. Trump believes he's funny, but only in the sense that your uncle makes terrible jokes at Thanksgiving, and you pretend to laugh, so you don't have to sit there in silence. And talking about comedy, Kimmel referred to Trump's rally speeches as the worst stand-up routine ever. Donald Trump's career has been founded on lies.
Trump had an audience for what turned out to be a historic speech. No president in the history of this country has ever taken a weirder drink of water than this. Is that one of the side effects of hydroxy? I mean, what is up with his hand? Did he hurt it holding the Bible upside down? Let's look at that again, because there's clearly something going on. It's weak. And this is not the first time we've seen this. This clip's from November of 2017. You can see here, he managed to open the water bottle, but then he needed 2 hands to drink it. And then next month, this happened again. What is he doing? He's like a witch sipping out of a goblet full of toadstools or something. And he had another weird...
And now the lies are finally coming back to haunt him. The lawsuits, the criminal charges, the investigations. How much more evidence does anyone require? The man has spent decades avoiding responsibility, but the walls are closing in. And the best part, he did this to himself. Let's discuss the sheer insanity of Trump's defense. Every time he gets caught, the classified documents case. Oh, they were just souvenirs. He didn't incite any. He was just speaking passionately to his supporters. His fraud trial, he claims his properties are worth whatever number he feels like that day. It's like seeing a 5-year-old attempt to lie his way out of taking cookies. But instead of cookies, it's democracy and the economy.
He has a plan, says that over and over and over again.
We have no choice but to absolutely replace Obamacare, and we're going to come up with a much better plan. We're going to come up with a great health plan, and this is a great plan. Wait till you see the plans we have coming out, literally.
2019, we still haven't seen a plan for health. If someone who works for you, well, let's say it's your barber, promises to present you with a plan for trimming your hair over and over again for 9 years and never does, you'd probably fire that person. You'd probably get a new barber, because your hair would be down to your ass. Donald Trump...
He's messing around with. And let's not forget the hypocrisy. Trump made his name on faking to be a successful businessman, but the figures don't lie. Multiple bankruptcies, a scam. University failed casinos who loses money on football in America. It's almost admirable in a pathetic sort of way, and yet his backers still harbor the myth of Trump, the self-made billionaire. He's as self-made as a reality TV contestant who gets fired in the first episode but still claims they won. And talking about reality TV, isn't it ironic that the man who was known for firing people now can't seem to keep a good legal team, one lawyer after another, bail because defending Trump is like playing Jenga with dynamite. First, they defend him, then they figure out he's guilty, then they resign before they go down with the ship. Rudy, Giuliani bankrupt, Sidney Powell pleading guilty. Even his own accountants turned on him. If your financial team is going to testify against you, maybe just, perhaps you're not as rich or truthful as you say, and let's discuss how delicate his ego is. This is a man who served 4 years as president, but he's still fixated on crowd numbers and Twitter insults or Truth Social insults. He attempted to create his own social media because he got shut down everywhere else. That's equivalent to getting banned from every bar in town and opening your own so you can continue to drink. It's not a power move. It's sad. You know what else is sad? His entire Law and Order shtick. The bragging about Law and Order fellow is the one who paid a porn star for her silence in exchange for donations, got sued by the government, and organized a mob to the Capitol. It's the Joker on the no-crime platform. And let us not even touch on how he dodges taxes. The man that professes America's love sends less to the country than some teenager with a summer job, whilst he wishes to cut programs from ordinary people to give tax discounts to billionaires such as himself, traditional Trump, always having the little guy's best interest at heart, providing the little guy has a private jet. Trump's not some kind of master tactician. He is not playing a game of chess while the rest of the world is playing checkers. He's overturning the board and wailing that the game is fixed. Every legal proceeding, every scandal, every debacle. It's never his responsibility. It's the media. It's the deep state. It's windmills. Yes, windmills. The man who had access to nuclear secrets believes windmills are slaughtering whales.
I think that plastic's going to affect the shark very much as they're munching their way through the...
Meanwhile, his own party is quietly attempting to distance themselves from him, but they're afraid to say so out loud, like they're in a horror film, and Trump is the bad guy. But rather than running around them, they just stand there thinking, perhaps he won't notice us. Let's not forget his latest drivel. He's now saying he's being harassed more than any other person in history. If Donald Trump wins, if he thought about the potential, he would employ the authority of the federal government against you personally. Yeah, I have, but I'm reassured in the fact that he's attacking you first. That makes you feel better. Yeah, you know that hypothesis about you don't need to be quicker than the bear. You just need to be quicker than the one kid. You're that one kid. I'm the kid. I'm the slow boy. Trump is a huge supporter of yours. I don't know if you've seen this, but he tweeted in July. So now fake movie star George Clooney. Yeah, he doesn't realize movies are staged. Does he? I don't think so. Who never got close to making a good movie is getting into the ACT.
People would vote for someone who was so deeply flawed. I mean, I know Donald Trump. I mean, that's the thing is people, I have his phone number in my phone book. He was the guy that came to the bars and asked me about which cocktail waitress was single. That's who he was.
This is back in the 90s.
Not that long, no, back in the 2000s, quite honestly. And so there's this part of you that just goes, well, that guy shouldn't be president. But I was wrong, and he was. And our democracy, I believe, paid a price, certainly around the world. And I worry about the possibility. I don't think it's as good as some people are afraid of, but I do worry about it. I think we're in a time where we need to, we need some interesting candidates all around the board. I think,
Democratic side as well.
Sure. Yeah. We need.
He's flipped out against Crooked Joe, like the rodents. They both are. And what's his big plan for 2024? More revenge, more complaining. And the same old greatest hits. The election was stolen, false news, witch hunt. He's like some oldies singer playing the same 3 tunes from 2016, expecting people still care. In the meantime, his followers are donating to him for legal expenses while he's out golfing. He's not fighting for America. He's fighting to avoid prison. Big difference. It's really draining to watch the same cycle repeat itself over and over. Trump does something.
Donald Trump wins. Have you thought about the possibility he might use the power of the federal government against you personally?
Yeah, I have, but I'm comforted in the fact that he's coming after you first.
That makes you feel better?
Yeah. You know that theory about you don't have to be faster than the bear, you just have to be faster than the one kid? You're that one kid, pal.
I'm the kid. Yeah. I'm the slow boy. Yeah. Trump is a big fan of yours. I don't know if you've seen this, but he posted in July. So now fake movie actor George Clooney.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that movies are fake, does he?
I don't think so.
Who never came
close
to making a great movie is getting into the act. He's turned on Crooked Joe like the rats they both are. What?
Everyone calls him out. His supporters act like it didn't happen. And then a month later, he's in even worse trouble. It's like a terrible reality show that won't get canceled. But here's the best part. Every day, more people are waking up to the scam. The lawsuits are mounting, the walls are closing in, and sooner or later, even Trump won't be able to talk his way out of it. And when that day arrives, you know what he'll do. Blame all except himself. The deep state, the media, the weather. Likely even Barron. But the reality is straightforward. Donald Trump constructed a house of cards, and now it's finally come crashing down, and for real, it's long overdue. And there you have it. George Clooney and Jimmy Kimmel roast Trump so mercilessly, you can almost smell the smoldering spray tan, a Hollywood legend and a late-night legend joining forces to do what America does best. Laugh at Donald Trump if you liked. Like and subscribe. More videos.